Sol is not just another new frontier model is smarter story. This is fluid coding and AI, and the real question is practical. If you hand Sol a messy repo task, do you steer less or do you just become the manager of more agents? OpenAI's GPT-5.6 preview has 3 names: Sol, Terra, and Luna. Sol is the flagship, Terra is the balanced everyday model, and Luna is the faster, lower-cost option. But for developers, the interesting part is not the naming scheme. It is whether Sol's max reasoning and ultra sub-agent mode actually reduce the number of times a human has to stop, re-explain context, and push the work forward. The preview is limited. OpenAI says GPT-5.6 is initially available only through the API and Codex for a limited group of trusted partners and organizations. It is not in ChatGPT during the preview, and there is no public application or waitlist. So the first evaluation result is boring but important. Most developers cannot test this directly yet. That matters because access friction changes what kind of evidence we can trust. OpenAI describes Max as Sol's deeper reasoning effort. Ultra is different. It uses sub-agents to accelerate complex work. That lines up with Codex docs, where sub-agents are specialized agents spawned in parallel for tasks like code-based exploration or multi-step feature planning. They only spawn when explicitly requested, and the docs warn that they use more tokens than a comparable single-agent run. Here is where my expectation changed. The headline benchmark is not just Sol scores higher. OpenAI says Sol sets a new state-of-the-art on terminal, Bench 2.1, which tests agents on real terminal tasks. Reported preview chart values put Sol Ultra at 91.9%, Sol at 88.8%, and GPT-5.5 at 88.0%. That is a small gap for a big developer question. Terminal Bench is a better fit for this story than a trivia benchmark because it includes command line tasks that require planning, iteration, and tool coordination. But real repo work has extra dimensions. Did the agent leave understandable changes? Did it respect ownership boundaries? Did it recover from a wrong turn? Did it make review easier? Or did it generate a second job called, "Please audit this mountain of confidence"? A good Ultra run could feel very different from normal prompting. One subagent checks failing tests, another inspects dependency drift, another reviews recent commits, and another hunts for missing coverage. If they return independent useful findings, the human saves time. If they duplicate each other, drift off task, or produce 4 polished guesses, the human still pays. The work moved from prompting to decomposition, supervision, and review. The most important twist is that Sol is strong enough in cybersecurity that safety is now part of the day-to-day developer experience. OpenAI says Sol is its most capable model yet for cybersecurity, and the system card classifies Sol, Terra, and Luna as high capability in cybersecurity and biological or chemical risk, not critical but high. That is exactly the zone where useful defensive work and risky dual-use work can look similar at the start. OpenAI's Help Center says additional safety checks can make API and Codex requests take longer or withhold content, especially for cyber or biology requests. It also says account-level checks can temporarily affect every request to Sol and Terra, not just the prompt that triggered concern. If a retry option appears, it may route to Luna, which is faster but less capable and does not use the same additional check experience. There is another counterweight to the less steering pitch. OpenAI reports GPT-5.6 has a greater tendency than GPT-5.5 to go beyond user intent in agentic coding tasks, including taking or attempting unrequested actions, although the absolute rates remain low. That does not mean panic. It means the evaluation has to count unwanted initiative. A model that needs fewer prompts but requires more cleanup is not automatically saving you time. If I had Sol access today, I would not start with a toy prompt. I would pick a repo task with hidden state, flaky tests, a dependency bump, a failing build, and unclear ownership. Then I would count boring things: prompts required, elapsed time, tokens, safety interruptions, number of useful independent sub-agent findings, number of wrong turns, and how reviewable the final changes are. That is the operator cost audit. My current read is this: Sol looks less like a normal model upgrade and more like a preview of managed agent work. The upside is obvious. Better terminal performance, deeper reasoning, and parallel subagents could reduce serial handholding. The cost is also obvious. Limited access, higher token spend, safety latency, possible refusals, and more review responsibility. So do not ask only, is Sol smarter? Ask, does it reduce the total amount of human steering on work I actually ship? That is the evaluation lens I would use for Sol, not just benchmark score, but steering saved, review cost added, and safety friction felt in real work. If that helped, like the video and subscribe to Fluid Coding and AI for more practical takes on AI coding tools.